Thanks, Tim, and good morning, everyone. So I just thought I'd start off with just a nod to a few of the CML leaders we've lost in the last year from the U.S. Gene Curry, I know others have mentioned his passing, which is tragic, and as well, very recently, Tessa Holyoke from Glasgow. Two leaders in our field, which will be dearly missed. Someone also who's gone, but gave us a lot of good words of wisdom, was Yogi Berra, and and asked to give a presentation about perspectives. I thought some of his quotes would be quite choice, such as about making predictions about the future. Coming to a fork in the road to take it, and you got to be careful if you don't know where you're going, because you might get there. I think CML kind of represents a bit of that story. It's almost 20 years since we first saw patients treated with imatinib. This is one of the early patients from Portland showing hematologic response occurring at 300 milligram dosing. We've clearly changed the natural history of CML. This is an overview from the sequential German CML studies. And you can see how the natural history of CML has gone from a fairly dismal, even with the addition of stem cell transplant really boosting things. TKIs have really changed this completely. And the history of CML is quite long, but the kinase inhibitor is still relatively short. And imatinib was really the first targeted drug really developed right around the same time as Herceptin in cancer. It seems like we have a million targeted agents now, but imatinib was really one of the first. And this just goes through sort of the history of description of CML, that really the scientists that made sentinel discoveries of the chromosome, the translocation, the basic science between BCR-ABL signaling, and of course TKI development. And that's really led to quite a good story for patients. While the prevalence of CML is increasing, which is keeping us busy, the lifespan, the expectations for patients with CML are now normal. It's a great problem to have. We've also learned that we have to pay attention to the whole patient. Of course, we're internists first before we're oncologists or hematologists. And a very nice analysis of CML patients from one of the German studies looking at their comorbidity index showed that that didn't really have an impact on their TKI response or transformation. So, your sicker older patients aren't necessarily going to do more poorly with regards to their response, but clearly it's going to affect their overall survival. So if you consider the comorbidity score of a CML patient, with or without age, that's what really most impacts their survival. So basically, comorbidity trumps CML response in a way, because CML is now a survivable disease. I probably shouldn't have used the word Trump in a lecture, but I couldn't help myself to add an image of our dear leader. How common are comorbidities in CML? This is an analysis from UTOS data, and it just looks at the kind of issues patients with CML would present with. And if you focus on cardiovascular comorbidities, you see that more than half of patients have them, in general, and nearly half are cardiovascular. So this is not a trivial issue.